Hello, and welcome back to Sales and Business Growth for Busy Women. I am your host, Lindsay. I'm a mom, a wife, a dog mom. I'm a business owner times two, and I'm also a former top producing sales rep in corporate America. And I'm here to help you sell more, get time back in your day, and grow your business. On this podcast, we talk about all things sales, marketing, business growth, and time management so that your business doesn't take over your life. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the podcast. I really appreciate you being here with me. And if you haven't already, please do hit the follow button on your podcast player app. It blesses me big time when that number grows, and it means that you won't miss any episodes going forward. So please hit that follow button. If you are a woman in business, you are thinking about starting a business, or you have a side hustle that you'd like to grow and turn into your main source of income, we want you to join us inside my free online community that has over 1,000 strong, supportive women. In 2025, I am bringing on a leadership team that will help educate you in various areas of business for free. Literally, we are not charging a dime for these trainings. This is to help you move your business forward and grow and thrive. I'll be announcing this leadership team inside the Women in Business community in the coming days, and you'll get to learn directly from me and these other experts. So join us inside the Women in Business community. The link is in the show notes. We want to see you in there. So let's dive into today's topic, because this topic gets me all sorts of fired up. The topic for today is what is sales and what is sales not? Because literally your definition of sales and what that means for you and your business and your team may be holding you back. I've been working with a company training their sales staff for about 6 months or so, and I was recently invited in to do some training with part of their staff that wasn't technically a part of the sales team. But here's what their leader realizes. Everyone in their organization, every single person that works for that company, from answering the phones to the sales team, to their construction crew, to their document preparers, all of those people, every single person in their business is in sales. Sales is all about effective communication. So the better that her people communicate, meaning everyone in the company, the better that they all communicate and understand how to ask great questions, the better off her whole company will be. And as someone in business, no matter what role you play in your company, whether it's owner, whether you are the owner-operator, whether you're an administrative assistant, or you actually have sales in your job title or description, you are in sales. Every single one of you, every one of us is in sales. Actually, I could go farther than that and say any living, breathing human being is in sales, but let's stick to business. If you're in business, if you are employed, if you are the owner. Now, sales is a commonality across all businesses. No matter what your job title is or what industry you are in, sales is required. Sales are required to succeed in your business and keep the doors open. Otherwise, you have a hobby, not a business. So the faster that you learn how to sell, the better off you'll be. And I'll be opening up registration for my first ever sales training course shortly. That will be happening in 2025. So make sure you're on my email list, and you can join the email list at lindsayfletcher.co. But that's not what this episode is about. Back to what is sales. So I follow this guy named Evan Carmichael on Instagram, and he recently shared a post in his stories, and I literally squealed when I read it, and I probably shouted, "This is it! This is it!" Here's what his post said. Sales cures everything. There has never been a company in the history of companies that's ever succeeded without sales. You've got to be able to sell. And guess who the biggest salesperson in your company has to be? Yep, you. So Mr. Evan Carmichael, I could not agree more with you, so thank you for that post. Here's what I believe. I believe that if more business owners knew how to sell, meaning you knew the process from starting the conversation to closing the sales, and then how to re-engage those customers, you as a business owner would not only succeed in terms of sales and revenue and profit, but you would also be a more efficient business owner because you would understand exactly what your customers' needs and wants are and what problems they have, and you could solve those problems. So let's talk about the definition of sales, because If you have bought into the wrong definition of what sales is, it could be the very reason that your business isn't flourishing or growing. And it could be causing you to be in your own way. And it could be causing you to be stagnant and frustrated, that you aren't finding the right types of customers, or maybe you are attracting the wrong customers. Let me say it this way. If you are carrying around the wrong definition of sales, you are doing yourself, your business, and your customers a disservice. And that's a shame, because I know what you are offering is something great. So what is sales? Let's define it. Let's define what sales is. Sales is a mutually beneficial exchange between you and your customer. You serve them because you have something that they want or need, and you solve their problem or problems. Then they pay you for that product or service. They win because they get their problem solved, and you win because you can make a living by selling your product or service. Now, I believe that when you ask questions and really listen to what people tell you, you can build relationships. And when you build relationships, you can understand what people's problems are. And when you understand their needs and wants and what their problems are, you can serve them by solving their problems. And when you get to the point of solving problems, I believe that you are obligated to make sure that these people know that you can help them. As a business owner, whether sales comes naturally to you or not, please don't shy away from sales. Don't be afraid to sell your products or your services because someone out there wants or needs what you have. Why wouldn't you want to sell their problems? Why wouldn't you want to help them? Of course you do. Of course you want to help them. That's why most people start their business, because you saw a need, you had a problem, and you were able to solve it. And that may be your story too. You want to help people, but you can't help people if no one knows that you can help. Help them by selling. Now let's talk about what sales isn't. And I'm going to title this section of this episode, Don't Be a Weirdo, after Ryan Taft's chapter in his book, Story Getter. This is where I tell you all the things not to do and all the things that sales isn't. You should continue being a human being because people can smell desperation from a mile away. So don't get in your head about the conversation and about being in sales. You can't see my hands, but I'm using air quotes there. Don't stop being curious. Be you and be interested in getting to know your customers. Empathy can be your best friend in sales because it makes you relatable and trustworthy, but don't overdo it. Don't be fake, okay? You have to be authentic, you have to be curious, and you have to be showing interest in what your customers need. Now, this one might be a little bit of a, what do I want to say? What's the word I want to use? A little bit of a controversial topic, but I don't believe you should use scripts. I believe that you should be in the conversation and not in your head about what you're going to say next or how you're going to say it or exactly the words you're going to be using. I believe you need to pay attention and you need to be in the conversation, asking questions and showing genuine curiosity. Now, I also don't want you to use fake urgency. Don't tell people that the product or service is going away if it isn't going away, or that you only are offering it to 2 people if you actually have 10 spots open. You'll see this a lot in social media marketing. I have 2 spots left, or this service is going away, when actually you'll be able to find it in a week when they said it was going to be gone in 2 days, right? Now, if you're running a sale or you're going to have a discount code live for a certain amount of time, absolutely share that. Tell them when it ends so that they can take you up on it. But don't create fake urgency, because I think people will see through it. Also, don't talk too much. Did your mama ever tell you that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that you should listen at twice as much as you talk? Well, this applies to sales. If you are talking too much, you are likely trying to solve their problems before you actually know what the problem is, and you might be offering a solution that has nothing to do with what they want or need. And I actually ran across this in a recent training where I was teaching a group of employees about objection handling. And what we found is they wanted to go into fixer mode without asking questions. And when they got a customer complaint or kind of an objection or smoke screen in their conversations, they went into fixer mode and offered up solutions. And sometimes those solutions weren't actually what the customer wanted, needed, or was even looking for. And I want you to hear me when I say that sales isn't about selling just to sell. It isn't about making a quick dollar and running. It's about finding the people that you can help and then helping those people. And at the end of the day, I believe that sales is all about serving our community and doing it to the best of our ability. So if you feel icky when you think of the word sales or when you try to sell your product or service, it's time to look at your motivation for selling, your approach to selling, and it's probably time to take a sales course. I can't tell you how many business owners I've heard say, I'm not in sales. And I absolutely cringe because yes, you are. You are in sales because your business won't last without sales. I believe that people say this for a variety of reasons, with the top reason being that they don't want to feel icky or slimy or like they're taking advantage of people, and they really don't know how to approach selling in a way that feels good and authentic and helpful. Selling doesn't come naturally to a lot of people, and that's okay because I have good news for you. It can be learned. Sales can be learned, and it can be practiced, and it can be mastered. You are listening to this episode and you're like, okay, Lindsay, I'm ready to learn how to sell, and I want to keep people first while I do it. Join my email list because I will be launching my people-focused sales training in 2025. So you want to be on my email list because my email list will be the first to know when the dates will be dropped, and you'll receive some exclusive discounts on the course. At the very minimum, I hope that I have challenged you and made you take a look at what your definition of sales actually is in your head, not what you say out loud, but how it makes you feel and what that looks like for you and your business, because there is not a business on this planet that will survive without sales. If you are feeling icky and gross and slimy about sales, I hope to have changed your mind about what sales is, and that it's all about helping people. It's all about connecting with people, meeting them in their problems and solving those problems for them. And when you do that, you are obligated. That's my thought. I think you're obligated to sell your product or service if you solve people's problems. Why wouldn't you, right? We all want to help. Okay, there you have it. That's another episode down in this series called Sales 101. If you have any questions about this episode or any of my episodes, I'd love to hear from you. And you can email me at hello@lindsayfletcher.co, or you can leave me a voicemail at speakpipe.com/Lindsay Fletcher. I am praying for you and I'm praying for your business, and I will talk to you next time.